shall we begin?
Lando's podium prediction for Imola went quite well. And for Portugal, the categories are podium for the race top 3, points, and qualifying surprises. Also, do subscribe if you haven't already, as we are heading towards the 1000 mark. Let's see the qualifying surprises first. We did see some amazing qualifying sessions in 2021 so far, and a few surprises too. In Bahrain, Sergio Perez missing out on Q3 and both Alfa Romeos getting into Q2. Fernando Alonso making it to Q3 in the first qualifying session after a 2-year gap from Formula 1. While in Imola, both the Williams made it to Q2 for the first time since the Brazilian Grand Prix in 2018, and Valtteri Bottas and Carlos Sainz finishing out of place. Perhaps the most surprising of them all is Sebastian Vettel, who hasn't seen Q3 so far in 2021 for various reasons. Vettel's first priority in 2021 is to re-establish himself as a force after a miserable 2020 campaign, but he is still in the process of finding his ground with the new team. Technical issues, his own pace, and the FIA penalty which came too late have all contributed to Vettel's bad show at Imola. Seriously, what were the FIA doing for 45 minutes and decided to announce the penalty after Vettel's pit stop? Should the FIA get a penalty for not responding quick enough? I am not sure if this will be a surprise or the new normal. Sebastian Vettel may not make it to Q3 in Portugal. One of the most exciting prospects in Formula 1 in recent times, Yuki Tsunoda's debut has been on the right path so far. After scoring points in his first ever Formula 1 Grand Prix, he had a difficult race at Imola, crashing out of qualifying and spinning on the changing track conditions following the restart. So Tsunoda hasn't made it to Q3 in qualifying yet, but he could be in a position to score his first Q3 run at Portimao. Tsunoda's enthusiasm and character is a breath of fresh air for Formula 1. And the smart people at Red Bull are as much excited about him as they did for Max Verstappen in his early years. While Alpha Tauri is enjoying a very competitive car, they still haven't unlocked the true potential and yet to showcase the desired results. Alpha Tauri should be with the likes of Ferrari and McLaren fighting for the points regularly. We could see it coming as rookie Tsunoda and Pierre Gasly shake off the inconsistencies. It is possible that Tsunoda could finish in points in the Portuguese Grand Prix, so let's place him in the points. Daniel Ricciardo outperformed his teammate Lando Norris in qualifying at both Bahrain and Imola. But the race has been the opposite, with Lando finishing ahead of Daniel Ricciardo in both the races. Ricciardo had an okay start for the Imola Grand Prix, but his pace wasn't quick enough and he was eventually asked to let Lando Norris through. Is this the sign that McLaren has a clear number 1 now? I certainly hope not. Lando certainly had the better pace as we ultimately found out. Definitely a right call by McLaren to have the best possible result for the team. Ricciardo certainly has the potential to make a comeback and score his own podium. Can McLaren win a race this year? They certainly have the positives, with the car clearly having the pace. Ricciardo surely made a right choice in moving to McLaren, as his former team is struggling for pace. Scoring points in Portugal is not a difficult task for Daniel, but can he beat his teammate for the first time this year? Let's wait till the race to find out. In our last 2 predictions, I barely mentioned him, but he has been the most consistent performer for Aston Martin, has been in Q3 and points in both the races. Although there were several incidents around him, he was able to stay focused, especially in the changing conditions. In a way, he has been the new Sergio Perez for the Aston Martin team. Lance Stroll has been quietly working and improved his driving style with each year in Formula 1. He had learned some lessons and he's looking to prevent the mistakes he made last year. Aston Martin have lost about a second a lap to their high-rake rivals. Lance Stroll has been the brighter side for the team in a season that commenced with struggles. I am not going to go against his current form, so let's place him in the points. Another driver who could easily be in the points is his former teammate Sergio Perez. After a brilliant comeback drive in Bahrain, Sergio Perez had a messy race at Imola, while he achieved his best ever qualifying result by setting the second fastest time in Q3. He beat his teammate Max Verstappen in qualifying. This is the first time Verstappen had been beaten on merit by a teammate in qualifying since 2018. But the race has been a nightmare for Perez with a series of errors, including multiple off-track moments and a 10-second penalty for regaining lost positions under the safety car. Not really sure why the team could not catch this early and avoid the penalty. There is no doubt about Perez's ability on a race day. We have seen several outstanding performances from the Mexican in the past. He just needs to find his feet, and some decent performances are expected in the upcoming races as he gets more and more familiar with the RB16B. For the Portugal Grand Prix, he will be in the top 10, but can he be on the podium? Watch till the end to find out. What a solid start Lando Norris is enjoying to the 2021 Formula 1 season. While his more illustrious teammate Daniel Ricciardo is still trying to adapt to the new car and the new team, Lando Norris has been the driving force for McLaren for the first 2 races, achieving a podium in just the second race of the season. Although there were a few misfortunes elsewhere, the team made a right choice to put on soft tyres, as this could be their best shot at overtaking Charles Leclerc at the restart, and Lando did defend well against Lewis Hamilton, although it's just for a couple of laps. McLaren seems to have a good pace with the car, and with the 2-year experience with the team and the system, Lando is able to optimize his own performance, so he will definitely be in the points. Although Imola did not seem so promising initially for Carlos Sainz, with poor qualifying, going off the track a couple of times, and driving a new car in the wet conditions for the first time, the race started to come together towards the end, and he eventually finished 5th at Imola, which is a great result considering where he started. Sainz has shown glimpses of speed in Bahrain and Imola, but he needs to put these flashes together into a consistent performance in both qualifying and the race day. Sainz is not too far off his teammate, and we could see him beat Leclerc in either a Saturday or a Sunday soon enough. So let's place him in the top 10. The next driver we could see in the top 10 is Charles Leclerc. Back in 2019, Charles Leclerc has shown his true pace and capability in an F1 car. Even before the summer break and the engine fiasco, he had scored pole positions in Bahrain and Austria. However, unfortunate not to win either of them. It is clear Charles Leclerc is not a midfield driver, and he is capable of winning races and battling the best on the racetrack. But it's a shame that we are not able to see him at the front. Ferrari should at least be able to bounce back in 2022 to give Leclerc an opportunity to mount a championship challenge. 2021 so far, Leclerc has been mighty consistent in both qualifying and the race day, and seems like comfortably occupied the midfield. Following a massive crash at Imola, Valtteri's power unit has been damaged beyond repair, and Mercedes is working frantically to get the right spec for Portimao. If no engine troubles, Bottas should be in the points. In my previous 2 predictions, I have always placed Valtteri Bottas in the top 3, but with Max and Lewis almost sealing off the top 2 places, can Valtteri step up to perform and challenge for race wins? Or will he end up battling Sergio Perez and the McLarens or the Ferraris for the top 5 spots? It's no longer a guaranteed second or a podium place for Bottas. He has to fight for it, and the competition is intense, as his teammate Lewis Hamilton is going head to head with Max Verstappen for the 2021 championship. It's been 2 glorious races, and we no longer need to count on the weather or the on-track incidents to make a race exciting. I am sure even without rain, Imola could have produced a spectacular race. So it's game on with Lewis having a slight advantage in the championship. Both Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton made it pretty clear that the fight for the 2021 championship is not going to be for the faint-hearted. The rivalry is going to intensify as we progress through the races, and I hope that the fights are limited to the on-track battles and the driver relationship is intact. For the Portuguese Grand Prix predictions, who do you think will be on the podium? Do let me know your top 3 in the comments below. For Portugal, I'm going with Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton and Sergio Perez. Thanks for watching, and I will meet you in the next one.